Hey guys, how you doing today? I'm here to talk about Steam refunds and why they're pretty much the best thing that's ever happened to Steam. So if you got yesterday's update, you'll notice that there is a link that takes you to the Steam refunds page, tells you how it all works. I'm going to go through it with you guys right now. You don't need a reason to request a refund. You don't need to say, hey, this game was shit, or it was a gift, blah, blah, blah. You can do it for any reason. Especially if your PC doesn't meet the hardware requirements. I know for someone working on an older rig like me, I got a 560 Ti, this is a huge deal. You can request a refund for nearly any purchase on Steam for any reason. Maybe your PC doesn't meet the hardware requirements, maybe you bought a game by mistake, maybe you played the title for an hour and just didn't like it. It doesn't matter. Valve will, upon request via help.steampowered.com, issue a refund for any reason. Now, there's a couple stipulations on this. First of all, the request for the refund has to be made within 14 days of the initial purchase, and you can't have played more than 2 hours of the title. But interestingly enough, they do say, but even if you fall outside of the refund rules we've described, you can ask for a refund anyway, and we'll take a look. So this is great. This means if there's extenuating circumstances, they can say, we're going to take the customer first. We might issue a refund to make sure that customers are coming back to our storefront. And this is a great thing for Steam because GOG Galaxy launched recently. They've got their own storefront app. This might be a contender for Steam. We don't really know yet, but it looks kind of interesting. Especially because I know I got The Witcher 3 on GOG rather than Steam. So how the refunds work is they're going to try to directly refund to the same payment type that you gave. So if you paid with a credit card, they'll try to throw it back on the credit card. If you paid with Steam Wallet funds, they'll try to throw it back on there. But if for any reason they can't put a refund through on your initial payment method, they'll go through for Steam funds. And that's whatever, it makes sense. So interestingly enough, this refund policy isn't just limited to games. It goes for DLC and in-game purchases too. So for DLC, it's refundable within 14 days of purchase, and if the underlying title has been played for less than 2 hours since the DLC was purchased. So this means, say, I'm playing Dark Souls, and I buy Crown of the Sunken King. I have quite a few hours in Dark Souls 2, but say I don't play for more than 2 hours since buying the Sunken Crown, I can return that. Even though I have way more than 2 hours and way more than 14 days after purchase, I can still return that DLC. So, a note on in-game purchases. Steam is going to offer refunds for in-game purchases with any Valve-developed games within 48 hours of purchase. So what this means is your TF2 hats, weapons, things like that, things that are not from third-party free-to-play games. So they'll do it for Dota, they'll do it for Team Fortress 2, things like that, but they won't do it for third-party games. There's really no regulation that Valve has when it comes to third-party, free-to-play, in-game purchases. So it makes sense why they would do it on only their content. Here's something interesting. There's also refunds on pre-order titles. So usually, if you do a pre-order on Steam, you have to pay for it in full. So something coming out like Batman, you'd pay $60 plus tax, whatever. And you would have that pre-ordered. But there's really no way to cancel that until now. There was no protection in place so that you could get rid of it if it gets bad reviews or whatever. So under this new policy, at any time after paying for it, before the game comes out, you can request a refund and they'll honor it. And after the release date, the standard 14-day, 2-hour refund period also applies. So this is good. I've known before that pre-ordering on Steam is kind of a crapshoot. Pre-ordering in general is not the most comfortable thing to do, especially not when you're having to pay the entire game off. When you do a pre-order from Amazon or in Steam in the past, you were kind of at the mercy of that game being good or not. If it turned out to be shit, you really couldn't do anything about it. And that pushed sales more towards physical storefronts like, your GameStop, your Best Buy, your whatever. So this is good. This is going to hopefully push more pre-order bonuses towards the Steam storefront, because frequently pre-order bonuses have only existed for physical storefronts, not digital ones. Typically, anyway, of course. So here's another interesting thing. Steam frequently puts bundles together. I know that I bought the Half-Life 2 bundle. So you can receive a full refund for the entire bundle, as long as none of the items have been transferred, of course, and if all the items in the bundle Total playtime altogether is less than 2 hours. So obviously they can't give refunds for items purchased outside of Steam. So if you buy your wallet cards, if you use a CD key from a physical disc and redeem it on Steam, they obviously can't do anything about that. And of course, the final layer of protection, if you get VAC banned, they will not refund your ass. So cheaters can't just get their money back, which I think is a nice little touch. Protects them, makes sense. No refunds for movies, no refunds for gifts after they've been redeemed by the recipient. Again, just things that make sense. Go along with protecting them with the VAC bans. Now here's the thing. This policy is actually pretty lax. 14 days is kind of a long time. It's way more than any physical retailer that I've known. And this policy, especially the 2-hour policy for shorter games, has chances of being abused. Just like with any store return policy. Anyone who works in retail can tell you that there are definitely abusers of particularly lax and even particularly strict store return policies. So Valve puts their consumer foot forward here when they say refunds are designed to remove the risk from purchasing titles on Steam, not as a way to get free games. And this is nice. It seems as if they're going to be actively monitoring who's making refund requests, how many refund requests you make in a certain amount of time, and they also say if it appears to us that you're abusing refunds, we may stop offering them to you. We do not consider it abuse to request a refund on a title that was purchased just before a sale and then immediately rebuying that title for the sale price. Now this right here, this is amazing. This is fucking awesome because Steam always comes up with these flash sales, especially in the summer. Summer sales are going to be fucking ridiculous. So with this new policy, if I buy a game for $20 and tomorrow it goes on sale for $3, I can request a refund, rebuy the game, and I just save myself $17. This is absolutely fantastic. Takes all the risk out of buying the games that you want during sales, and this is going to put more money in Steam's pocket. So I'm pretty excited about this, if you couldn't already tell. I know there are definitely games that I would have liked to have been able to return in the past, looking at you, Aliens, Colonial Marines. But are there any games that you're planning on returning right now, or what games were you wanting to return in the past? Let me know in the description down below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for any more gaming updates or #GamerGate stuff. My name is Matt, and I'll see you later.